PETA doesn't tell you that. But because of oil and natural gas coming from that region, sadly that we send a lot of that oil to Japan to be refined and bring it back to ourselves, because our environmental regulations won't allow that. That's available to us to use, and to use appropriately and efficiently. But then, when you have the founder of Greenpeace for 3 years now saying we ought to go to nuclear power because it's the greenest form of energy, there is no global warming problem as a result of nuclear power. That's Greenpeace saying that. One of the founders of Greenpeace, not Greenpeace, but one of the founders of Greenpeace saying that. Let's take advantage of it. Why are we worried? You know, we make all these jokes about the French, but they ought to be making jokes about us not using nuclear power. 75%, 80% of their their energy is produced by nuclear power. And they are cookie cutter plants that they have a formula, they put it together, they put them up quick, they permit them, and they power it. We don't see the French glowing, except with good wine, but not from nuclear power. And they have a 20% waste at the end of the, they reclaim it and reuse it until there's 20% low-level waste. Now why don't we do that? My bill would have allowed that, in fact give incentive to use all of the above energy. And it would have no mandates, no tax increases as part of it, but a free market approach that says have at it. And let's do it for the good of this country. I think that's the alternative that we need to push. I will vote against any cap and trade plan, or anything like that. And push to say, let America be as creative as we always have been. We will find, you know, right now, our new age of fighter jets are powered with liquefied coal fuel. We can't produce it here because of environmental regulations. We have to buy it from other countries like Saudi Arabia. What does that say about our defense and security capabilities? So that has to change. And that'll only change when we have an administration that's willing to sign the legislation. And the majority in Congress willing to pass it. And say America will continue to be great because we have great people who will be creative to find the source. I don't care whether my house is powered by a windmill or by solar or by natural gas or whatever. But I want it powered efficiently, and I want it powered in a secure way so that I know I don't depend upon any other country, including Canada. That's our friend. Other questions?
Do you have anything in your agenda to revise, redirect all of these regulations that are required to license and construct a nuclear power plant that takes, God knows how many years, I don't remember, but I know instead of just creating a design and building it is one thing. That's the simple part.
Yeah.
The paperwork that's required by the NRR and the NRC, created by our government to approve building one of these things, that's only a small portion of what regulations and permits are required. Is there anything out there?
That has to be part of the whole step, and I think let me lump a couple issues because they're the same thing. Whether it's reducing the budget, which we have to do. We can't just put a flat line on the budget. We've got to cut. And whether that's 20%, 15%, 5%, 1%, or 8%, whatever we can get through, we've got to start cutting. If a business person has to cut 20, 25%, which is not unheard of, which is fairly normal in this economy, and our households have had to cut a significant percentage as well, the government ought to do it.